Yo, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another NBA 2K15 My Career game. Today we are going against the Thunder again. This is our fourth and final game of the regular season against the Thunder. Who knows we'll meet in the playoffs, but right now we're 1-2 in the season series against the Thunder, which means they've won 2 and we've only won 1. So we're trying to tie the season series up in OKC. Last time we played them, we needed a buzzer beater from David Lee. Iguodala missed a game-winning shot, but David Lee was able to tip it in at the buzzer. So hopefully we can win this game, tie the season series up, and put a little bit of fear in the Thunder's heart. Make them fear us a little bit. As Durant, we definitely fear him. And yeah, like I said, we're battling for the #1 seed, us and the Thunder. And if we do lose this game, it doesn't eliminate us from the #1 seed or anything like that. We can definitely still get it. But I mean, we definitely want to win the season or tie the season series. We can't win it. But what I do want to talk about today is the trade deadline, because the trade deadline this year was packed. A bunch of trades happened. The number was 8% of NBA players got traded. I believe it was 37 total, and plus the draft picks that got traded. It was crazy. And I actually fell asleep during the trade, like when all the trades were going on, except for the first few. When I woke up, I'm like, all this happened? Damn. And it was the year of trading point guards. OKC traded their point guard, so we'll start off with them. They traded Reggie Jackson to the Pistons, and they ended up getting a lot. And I don't know if it was a 3-team deal with the Jazz, but either way, the Jazz were involved. And OKC got they got Kyle Singler and DJ Augustine from the Pistons, and then they got Steve Novak and Enes Kanter from the Jazz. Now, DJ Augustine will be the sixth man, not the sixth man, just the backup point guard, just like how Reggie Jackson was. And it's a good flip for OKC because they weren't going to re-sign Reggie Jackson in the offseason because they have Westbrook, obviously. And DJ Augustine is going to add similar, I mean, he's not going to be as good as Reggie Jackson. If you remember last year in the playoffs, Reggie Jackson had that one crazy game, bailed OKC out against Memphis Grizzlies. I think it was game 4. So, I mean, he won't be having any games like that. But DJ Augustine's a pretty decent point guard, especially coming off your bench. So, that's a good move for OKC to get. And then Kyle Singler, he adds some three-point shooting that the Thunder badly need, as well as Steve Novak. But Steve Novak's probably not going to get too much playing time, especially once Durant's healthy and stuff like that. Because they already have Morrow, and Morrow's probably better at defense than Novak. Novak doesn't really play defense, and Novak is just a spot-up shooter, and that's it. Morrow probably has an extra move or two on him, as Durant takes it to the cup there. We tried to get a block there. We almost drew the foul and gave KD an and one. Nonetheless, it ends up in 2 KD points. As Steph Curry not getting that shot to go. We're in a good rhythm early on. We're up 8 points. Jeremy, or whoever's 6 is, taking it to the rim there. We play good defense and might have fouled him again. They're not calling fouls on this, thankfully. But that dude was able to finish as Denny Tice open for 3. Can't get that to go. So, yeah, OKC, they did pretty good for themselves. And then Kanter will be a good center to, since they got rid of Perkins. Perkins was traded to the Jazz. I forgot to mention, as Ibaka's going to take it to the cup here. Kanter's going to be a good backup, if not starter, for Steven Adams. I don't think he'll start, but I mean, he's definitely in that area. And Kanter is a good offensive player. Well, not a great offensive player. He's a decent offensive player. Not so much defensively, which kind of worries me for them in the playoffs. I don't know how much that Kanter move is going to help them in the playoffs, but they do have Steven Adams, and Kanter will be decent at least coming off the bench otherwise. So OKC probably, I mean, and Kanter's going to be there next year too. So I think so. OKC did pretty good for themselves for pretty much only trading Reggie Jackson and Kendrick Perkins. Perkins was a good defensive guy coming off the bench and a good what do you call it? I forget, the chemistry guy. So they lose him, but it's not really too big of a deal. And then Detroit, they got Reggie Jackson, so that works out pretty good for them because they wanted a point guard when Brandon Jennings going down. I think Brandon Jennings becomes a free agent. So as you see, Bo gets wide open and the paint here. They do that deal that works out for them. And Reggie Jackson, I don't know how good Reggie Jackson's gonna be. I mean, I'm kind of. I don't know. I'm kind of split on whether Reggie Jackson's actually going to be good enough to be a good NBA starter or not. But, I mean, if you're the Pistons, you might as well take that chance. All you're giving up is DJ Augustine and Kyle Singler. You might as well take that chance and see if Reggie Jackson's the guy because, I mean, he's going to be a free agent. And if he impresses, then you got him as a restricted free agent. You got his bird rights. So, might as well. Now, the big trade everybody was talking about is the Dragic trade, the double Dragic trade. Dragic's going to Miami, both the brothers, and then the Suns, they didn't get much in return for Dragic. They got 2 first-round picks, so I guess that's worth something. But as far as players that are going to work out this year, Danny Granger's not going to really help out. But Goran Dragic pretty much said, I don't want to be on this team anymore because he's not getting the playing time he wants and stuff like that and the role he wants after being an All-NBA 13 player last year. So he kind of forced a trade to Miami. And that was just that set off a few booms as far as point guard. The point guard market got completely flipped because of Dragic. Because not only did the Suns get rid of Dragic, they got rid of Isaiah Thomas. Now, the Heat getting Dragic, it's good for them, not great for them. I think people are overrating the move a little bit because Dragic is still a guy who can't play defense, and he had a career year, yeah, but it doesn't mean he's going to be putting up those numbers every year, you know? So, I mean, Dragic's good, but he's not as good. I don't think he's as good as people are making him out to seem. He's definitely not the savior from Miami or anything like that as we poke the ball loose, but Reggie Jackson's going to get that shot to go. I was ready to run the fast break, but Reggie Jackson actually got the ball back, so that kind of screwed us up there. So we actually hit the bench to start the fourth quarter. So the Suns, I mean, they got rid of Isaiah Thomas. They sent him to the Celtics, and they got like a pick out of it too. So the Suns, they stacked up on picks. But as far as this year, with OKC rolling right now, Westbrook playing some tremendous basketball, the Suns' playoff chances are pretty much shot unless something drastic happens to OKC, since they're like now have a 2-game lead over the Suns, and the Suns, they're losing a lot of their key players and stuff like that. They did get Brandon Knight, which is good, but Dragic and Isaiah Thomas for Brandon Knight, that's not exactly the flip you want to make. And then the Pelicans, they ended up, they didn't really lose anything, but they got Norris Cole and they got Sean Williams, who bought out, and then like some Hamilton dude. But Norris Cole is going to be a decent point guard for a team that could always use an extra point guard. The Pelicans can always use an extra point guard. They trade away Austin Rivers too, so Norris Cole might be a decent backup for them as they try to make a playoff push. The Brow is injured, so I don't know how that playoff push is going to go. But the Suns, in the end of the day, they didn't end up too bad. Maybe they didn't end up too great for this year, but as far as the future, you know, things worked out alright for the Suns. And like, I think people are saying, the Suns kind of screwed up. But considering the situation that was handed to them, Dragic saying, I'm not signing here next year. They got something for Dragic rather than losing him for nothing in free agency. And then to get rid of Isaiah Thomas as Kevin Durant dunks all over that dude, which they didn't have to do, but they did get Brandon Knight in return, which is decent. Now, the Bucks ended up getting Michael Carter-Williams. Like, where did Brandon Knight, like, he used to be in the Bucks. What did the Bucks do? The Bucks ended up getting Michael Carter-Williams in a deal, which is interesting because, I mean, Brandon Knight was doing all right for them, but why not get Michael Carter-Williams? Why not take a flyer on Carter-Williams, who is not that great of an offensive player, but he's shown the ability to be a decent passer, at least in the high levels, and a pretty good defender. He stepped up his defense in his second year, so, you know, the Bucks, I think it's a decent move for them. They might as well take a chance because Brandon Knight, his ceiling is only so high. I mean, it's cool to see Brandon Knight having a career year, but his ceiling is only so high. And with Jason Kidd as the coach, who knows how far he could push Michael Carter-Williams? And Carter-Williams had some losing habits as you see Iguodala open for 3. This is the tie to game. Big break there by Iggy. Like, come on, Iggy, you gotta make one of these shots. So yeah, I think it's a really good move, and we'll see what Jason Kidd does with that team. The last move that can come to my mind at least is Aaron Aflalo for the Portland Trailblazers. That's a really good trade. I don't think they gave him jack. They just gave rid of like Thomas Robinson, Will Barton, Claver. That's nothing. And they got rid of a first-round pick, but to get a guy like Aaron Aflalo, that's good for them, but at the same time, I don't know how much it helps the Portland Trailblazers. I don't know how much extra points they're going to be getting out of that deal for Aflalo. I know it's going to help them like advance any further than they might have in the playoffs without Aaron Aflalo. So, I mean, it's a good trade on paper, but I'm a little bit iffy on how it's actually going to work out. And oh yeah, the Timberwolves traded Thaddeus Young and Kevin Garnett, which I guess makes sense. So they're not going to sign Thaddeus Young in the offseason. Might as well just get rid of him for Kevin Garnett. Why not? Let Garnett tutor a lot of young guys in that locker room, like Wiggins and Levine. It's not as bad as people think it is, basically. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on all this stuff. Unfortunately, we lost this game because Iguodala. So, yeah, I hope you guys leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys next time.